So in this lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be solving for x by simplifying surds. So a very useful technique, and I'm going to show you my way of doing it, and hopefully this will help you. So if x of the root of x is equal to 5 root 3, what is x? So what we can say is the right hand side is a simplified surd, or surd in a simplified form, and we're looking for the value of x, which itself is a root. So we're kind of doing the simplification in reverse here. So what we want to do is we want to turn this into one whole square root, so then we can compare the x term with whatever this term is. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into two roots. And what we're going to do is we're going to convert this 5 into a square root. And we do that by finding what square root of what equals 5. And that is the square root of 25. So now we've got the square root of x equals the root of 25 times the root of 3. And these are equivalents. What we can do now is we can use our understanding of multiplying surds to find out what this right hand side is. So 25 times 3, that's the same thing as saying the square root of 75. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use comparing of the left hand side with the right hand side. If the square root of x equals the square root of 75, then x must be 75. So hopefully you see that. The square root of x is the square root of 75, therefore x must be 75, because you square root both sides and you get the same answer. Okay, so this is the technique. Let's have another go. If the root of x equals 3 root 6, what is x? And we're going to do the same thing. Let's convert the right hand side. So what square root of what gives 3? Well, that'll be the square root of 9. Now we're going to multiply 9 and 6 together to give the root of 54. And we can say that x is equal to 54. Let's do another example. If root of x equals 4 root 2, what is x? So what do? We're going to find, we're going to convert this 4 into a square root, so it'll be root 16. We're going to multiply the right hand side to give root 32, and therefore x must equal 32. Okay, a bit more tricky now. If root of x plus the root of 12 equals 4 root 3, what is x? So we're going to have to do some rearranging. So what we want to do is we want to get root of x on its own on the left hand side, and we do that by subtracting root 12 from both sides. So we've got root of x equals 4 root 3 minus root 12. Now remember, now we're going to be subtracting, so we have to convert this into a simplified root. So we've got a term of root 3. So we break this root 12 up into 4 root 3. And now we can call this root 4 2. So we've got 4 root 3 minus 2 root 3. We've got two numbers with root 3 in it. So 4 root 3 minus 2 root 3 is 2 root 3. And now we're going to go back into reverse by converting this into a root. So we're going to have root 4 root 3. Multiply those two together and we're going to have root 12. So root x is root 12. Root x is root 12, so x is therefore 12. Quite a long process doing that. We're bringing together several techniques into one, so it's quite advanced. Let's have a final go. If root of x plus root 20 equals 5 root 5, what is x? First thing we're going to do, well, I'm going to write it out, and then I'm going to subtract root 20 from both sides, because I want root x on its own on the left hand side. So I'm going to take root 20 on the other side, and we're going to have root of x equals 5 root 5 minus root 20. Now because we're subtracting, we want to have like terms, so we want to convert this into its factors, one of which will be root 5. So we're going to have root 4 root 5. Root 4, 2, so that's going to become 2 root 5 on this side. Now we can subtract 2 root 5 from 5 root 5, which will be 3 root 5. And now we're going to convert 3 into a square root and combine. So what will that be? That's going to be root 9 root 5. going to multiply root 9 and root 5 together, which will be root 45. And finally, we have x is equal to 45. Okay, so very tricky. A lot of principles and a lot of techniques used in one, especially in the last two examples there. So I would recommend going through that, pausing, rewinding, and making sure you understand each step, because there is a lot involved in it. But if you've got this far, then well done. If not, again, just go back and take it slowly and do a lot of practice.